Well, for more than a century, California represented everything that was great about America. In 1849, thousands rode wagons across the entire continent to participate in the gold rush. In the early 1900s, film directors came by the dozens from the East Coast and made Los Angeles the center of global film production. During the Dust Bowl, thousands of Midwestern farmers found refuge in the Central Valley. And of course, for decades, California has been home to the world's greatest technological innovation. It's no accident that California became the country's richest state. It was a land of limitless opportunity. Even if you never made millions there, you could live in what was, in effect, a middle-class paradise. That's not true anymore. According to the census, almost a fifth of Californians now live in poverty. That's the highest percentage in the country. California's middle class is fleeing to Phoenix and Reno and Boise. Soon the state will be comprised almost entirely of rich and poor. How did this happen? That question is rarely asked. The answer is pretty simple. Low-skilled immigration overwhelmed California. More than a quarter of the state's entire population, as of today, is foreign-born. Again, the highest rate in the country. Some of these immigrants are building successful new companies in Silicon Valley. Good for them. But most of them are not. In fact, the overwhelming majority of these immigrants are on welfare. Fully 72% of non-citizen households in the state of California now receive aid. That compares to just 35% of native-born households, more than double the rate. Now, 100 years ago, immigrants came to California for opportunity, and now they come for the benefits. Who can blame them? Democrats long ago discovered that welfare is a handy vote-buying scheme. Free stuff equals political power. So they give more, even as native-born Californians are forced to flee an increasingly unaffordable state. Democratic lawmakers even now are considering a new bill that would give state-funded health insurance to adult illegal immigrants. That means that literally anybody from anywhere on the globe could hop the border in Tijuana and get health care paid for by California taxpayers. Pretty generous. If only California cared about its own people this much, it would still be the Golden State. Well, President George H.W. Bush was honored today in a state funeral at the Washington National Cathedral. It was a moving tribute to the country's 41st president. Here's some of the highlights from it.
He was born with just two settings: full throttle, then sleep. He taught us what it means to be a wonderful father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He was firm in his principles and supportive as we began to seek our own ways. He encouraged and comforted, but never steered. We tested his patience. I know I did. But he always responded with the great gift of unconditional love. Last Friday, when I was told he had minutes to live, I called him. The guy answered the phone, said I think he can hear you, but he hadn't said anything for most of the day. I said, Dad, I love you and you've been a wonderful father. And the last words he would ever say on earth were, I love you too. We're going to miss you. Your decency, sincerity, and kind soul will stay with us forever. So through our tears, let us know the blessings of knowing and loving you, a great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
Wow. Tomorrow, a funeral service for President Bush will be held in Houston, Texas. Bush 41 will then be laid to rest at his presidential library on the campus of the University, Texas A&M University. Stay with Fox News throughout the day tomorrow for coverage of that. So riots are taking place in Paris and throughout France. They're about climate change, and they tell you a lot about the attitudes of the people in charge. We'll investigate that after the break.